Warning: the following content contains a lot of spoilers. If you don't want to get spoiled, feel free to click off this video and watch a different video of mine. You're free to come back here after you completed the anime. Viewers' discretion is advised. What was this anime? This is even more violent than Black Lagoon, but still less than Elfen Lied. But without that, this anime left me with mixed feelings. Before I explain all that, let's get right to the introduction. Akame ga Kill is based on a manga series written by Takahiro and illustrated by Tetsuya Tashiro. It lasted over 15 volumes and over 78 chapters from 2010 to 2016, while the anime series was released in 2014 and lasted only 24 episodes. It was animated by White Fox, an animation studio I previously mentioned in my Girls Last Tour video. Without further ado, let's get right to the plot. We start the anime with a swordsman named Tatsumi, who travels to the capital. While he's there, he sees a blonde-haired girl who claims she will help Tatsumi, so he gives her all his money, and she leaves him. He believes she was coming back, but she ended up ghosting him and never returned. Tatsumi then has no choice but to sleep on the streets. That was when a young rich girl named Aria offered him a place to stay, which he accepted. He stays there for a day and a half because Aria's family was attacked by a group called Night Raid. Night Raid kills Aria's parents and guards one by one, so Tatsumi runs out the place to go find Aria, which he does. Once he finds Aria, a Night Raid member named Akame shows up to finish off Aria, but Tatsumi stops her from doing so. When Akame was about to attack Tatsumi, the blonde girl from earlier, whose name is Leone, showed up, and Leone stopped Akame from attacking Tatsumi. Leone then reveals that Aria and her parents torture people from the countryside in the worst way possible. And once Tatsumi sees that two of his friends were tortured and killed by Aria and her parents, he grabs his sword and kills Aria in revenge. After all that, Leone invites Tatsumi to join the Night Raid, and they take him to the base. While on the Night Raid base, Leone introduces Tatsumi to all the members. In order, we have Shell, Mine, Bulat, Lub, Akame, and the boss of the team, Najida. Speaking of Najida, she has assigned Akame to train with Tatsumi, which means Akame is the first one to train Tatsumi. After training, Tatsumi is given a mission to assassinate the corrupt captain of the Imperial Police, which Tatsumi accepts and kills him. After that mission was complete, Akame made sure Tatsumi wasn't wounded, which he wasn't, so by the end of that, he's now accepted to be part of Night Raid. The next person to train Tatsumi would be Mine, and they have a good time being together. After that, Najida sets Night Raid out on another mission to assassinate a relative of the Prime Minister. So once they arrive at the location, Mine grabs her weapon and snipes the Prime Minister's relative, which instantly kills him. After Mine kills him, one of the bodyguards tries to kill Tatsumi and Mine, but Mine eventually kills him after Tatsumi traps him in his arms. The next person Night Raid goes after and assassinates is a former executioner, now a serial killer, and he ends up getting killed by Akame. Wow, you don't want to mess with Night Raid. The next person to train Tatsumi would be Shell, and they have a cute time together, no big deal. And want to know what's crazy? Leone trains Tatsumi the next day. This lucky bastard has all the ladies on him. But while Tatsumi was training with Leone by exploring the marketplace, they separated and lost each other. While Tatsumi is on his own, he sees a girl named Seiryu, and Seiryu, she's an annoying girl, and she's even my least favorite character. You will know why later. Anyways, Seiryu and her pet named Koro take Tatsumi back to the marketplace and run off. Seiryu then plans to get revenge on Night Raid for killing her mentor, and that mentor turned out to be the corrupt captain of the Imperial Police Tatsumi assassinated. Later on, Tatsumi and Leone go to a temple to assassinate drug smugglers who will lure a woman and drug them, so in Leone's rage, She and Tatsumi kill them one by one. Meanwhile, Mine and Shell encounter Seiryu and Koro who would attack each other, in which Mine takes care of Koro while Shell takes care of Seiryu. Shell cuts off Seiryu's arm, which would reveal that she has guns inside her body, so Shell cuts them off as well. While Mine is at risk of getting crushed to death by Koro, Shell then stops her fight and rescues Mine. After rescuing her, Shell gets shot by Seiryu by using a gun she has inside her mouth. Koro then cuts Shell in half and kills her by eating her. I told you you will start hating Seiryu. Mine then runs away injured to inform Night Raid about Shell's death, and the team are of course devastated by it. Meanwhile, the Imperior of the Empire order a dangerous woman named Estef to hunt out Night Raid, which she accepted. Estef then hires a group called the Three Beasts to first take down the Prime Minister of a northern tribe, so they assassinated him. The Three Beasts then drove flyers to make it look like Night Raid was responsible for his death, and then flees. So Najida sends Tatsumi and Bulat to an ocean liner where they will meet up with the Three Beasts. In total, Bulat kills 2 of them and Tatsumi kills 1 of them, but unfortunately for Bulat, after defeating his second opponent, he dies after getting poisoned by the opponent's blood going through his system and due to his injuries being so severe. Let's go back to Estef. She became a leader of a group called the Jaegers, and in total, we have Wave, Bolt, Kurome, aka Akame's sister, Seiryu, Dr. Stylish, and Run. Speaking of Estef, she creates a tournament where whoever wins will become her lover, and yes, she wants to find romance in her life. So Tatsumi goes to the tournament himself without knowing what the prize is. Tatsumi ends up winning the tournament, and he's treated to Estef dominating him.
It should have been me, not him! It's not fair!
Estef then takes Tatsumi to show how the Jaegers fight, and Tatsumi doesn't like it one bit, especially the fact that Seiryu is there. Later on during the night, Estef becomes extremely intimate with Tatsumi by making him sleep with her. Why is it that 2 times in a row I get an anime with intimate scenes involving the MC? Alright, the wheel's fault. The next day, Estef assigns Wave and Tatsumi to go to the mountains to eliminate a group of tree beasts. After getting attacked, Wave gets distracted, and it causes Tatsumi to escape. Tatsumi then uses Imperial Arms and Curcio, which is an Imperial Arms he achieved, to ditch Wave, while Wave on the other hand uses Imperial Arms Grand Chariot to follow Tatsumi, but was unsuccessful after losing him. Just a reminder, both Tatsumi and Wave don't know they are inside the armor they are using, so Tatsumi doesn't know it's Wave inside his armor, and Wave doesn't know it's Tatsumi inside his armor. After Tatsumi loses Wave, Love takes Tatsumi to get away. Wave then gets punished by Estef by stacking bricks on him for letting Tatsumi escape, but somehow, Estef still has feelings for him after all that. After Love helped Tatsumi get away, Tatsumi tells Akame, Leone, Mine, and Love everything, and at the same time, Dr. Stylish and his team find the Night Raid's hideout and attack it. But at the end, before Dr. Stylish turns into a danger beast, Night Raid kills 3 of Dr. Stylish's teammates, and Dr. Stylish eats 3 of his teammates to get stronger. Even after getting stronger, Akame still managed to defeat and kill Dr. Stylish, ending him once and for all. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, Nachida brought in 2 new members going to be part of Night Raid, Chelsea and Susanoo. But we will get back to them because there are now danger beasts in the forest and mines attacking people, so Prime Minister Honest assigns Estef to track them down, and of course, she accepts it. Later on in the night, Tatsumi and Love patrol the mountains in case the danger beasts show up. So Tatsumi travels alone without Love, where he sees Estef coming out of nowhere after she believes she saw a danger beast. And of course, Tatsumi is shocked since he cannot believe she's in front of him. While they are in the mountains together, they see Honest's son named Shura appear and use his Imperial Arms to teleport Estef and Tatsumi to a remote island. They do get a romantic time together, or that's what S-Def says, until the portal appears and teleports them back to the mountains. Here's the thing, Tatsumi is using Imperial Arms and Curcio to go invisible to hide from S-Def, so S-Def has no idea he's in the same spot as her, so she has no choice but to walk away and accept the fact that Tatsumi isn't with her. This is where it gets crazy. Night Raid and the Jaegers start a war together. Here's what happened in order. Kurome reveals she has 8 puppets she's manipulating, in which 6 of them were destroyed in battle. Bolts ended up getting killed by Chelsea after she stabbed his neck with a poison needle. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, he has a wife and a daughter. Poor Bolt's wife and daughter, they don't have him anymore. And Chelsea stabbed Kurome's neck with a poison needle, but it doesn't kill her. Kurome then uses her 2 puppets to kill Chelsea brutally and horrifyingly that I won't get into. Now, S-Def and the Jaegers are ordered by Honest to protect the spy working for him, who summoned 4 demons, but they don't last long due to how one of them was killed by Akame, and 2 of them were killed by Love, while the last one, named Suzuka, I will explain. While Tatsumi and Mine are alone, Suzuka, Seiryu, and her pet Koro show up to fight both of them. By the end of it all, Tatsumi kills Suzuka by getting crushed to death, and Mine defeats Seiryu and Koro after chopping their bodies into pieces, then would later explode herself, killing her and Koro altogether. I bet you're happy to hear that as much as I am. Oh yeah, that spy I mentioned was eventually killed by Lub. Now we're at this time the anime comes to an end. Tatsumi and Lub sneak inside the palace where they would get surrounded by Shura and Budo. By the end of this fight, Shura is killed by Lub after crushing his heart, which would lead to Lub dying after falling from the sky, where he would be impaled by swords from Shura's men. Budo would capture Tatsumi and would be sentenced to death by Honest. S-Def then finds out that Tatsumi is part of Night Raid, so she becomes the executioner. But before she can even try, Night Raid interrupts them and saves Tatsumi from getting executed. During the fight, Mine kills Budo by obliterating him, but she is extremely injured. Night Raid escapes, except for Susanoo, who stays behind to take care of S-Def. This is the last time we see Susanoo, so he dies off screen. So after escaping, Tatsumi carries Mine, but unfortunately for her, her injuries are too severe, so she confessed her feelings to Tatsumi and gave him one final kiss before she dies. So with Tatsumi, Akame, Leone, and Nachida left, they come up with a plan to assassinate Honest, but before that can happen, Kurome sends a message to Akame to duel with her, which Akame accepts. Here's what happens. In the middle of the duel, a giant robotic danger piece appears where it destroys the last 2 puppets Kurome was controlling. So Akame and Kurome work together to defeat it, which they succeed in doing, but even after all that, they continue to duel. Akame ends up defeating and killing Kurome by stabbing her, ending her once and for all. Now we're on to the point where Night Raid goes out to assassinate Honest. While on their way to assassinate him, the Imperior activates his Imperial arms where he's a giant mecha. The Imperior becomes so selfish that he destroys the capital and even kills citizens. So Tatsumi and Wave tag along to defeat the Imperior, and Tatsumi does the only way to stop the citizens from dying. He uses all his strength to stop the Imperior's mecha from hitting the citizens, and this kills him. Since Tatsumi died, Akame and S-Def challenge each other to a duel, in which Akame defeats S-Def. S-Def's last move was walking to Tatsumi's dead body. She would then freeze him and herself, where they would shatter into pieces, which means this is the end for S-Def. Meanwhile, Leone finds Honest, where she brutally kills him by crushing his head. But unfortunately for Leone, after she said farewell to Akame, she dies after losing too much blood from being shot multiple times by Honest. In the end, Nachida sentenced the Imperior to death by the guillotine, Wave and Run paying respect to Kurome's grave, and Nachida helping to build and restore the capital, which means the anime ends with Akame and Nachida separate and part ways, ending everything once and for all. Okay, before you say everything is wrong, read the manga, you dimwit. I know. I read the manga after watching this anime, and I will say this. I prefer the manga over the anime. I won't say everything that happens, but this is what I will mention. The characters who are alive in the anime are Akame, Najida, Wave, and Run. But in the manga, Tatsumi, Akame, Mine, Najida, Wave, Kurome, and Suzuko are alive. Also, I will mention something that will make you happy. Tatsumi and Mine are officially a couple in the manga, and they get married. I wish the anime could have waited till the manga ended so we could see this moment. But what are you gonna do? The anime is already out. Let's move on to the animation. The animation is great. White Fox doesn't draw at all. And despite the heavy violence used in the anime, I find it great and wild for an anime like this. AKA, that's the point. Let's move on to the opening and ending themes. The first opening is great. I'm a huge fan of the instruments and the chorus. This opening is performed by Akame's Japanese voice actress, Sora Anamiya. The second opening is alright. There's not a lot to it for me to say anything. This opening is performed by Rika Mayama. The first ending is beautiful, but it sounded pretty depressing due to what happens in the episodes. This ending is performed by Miku Sawai. The second ending is also beautiful, but sounds less depressing. This ending is performed by Sora Anamiya once again. Let's move on to the voice acting. The voice acting is in 3 words: funny, deep, and serious. Funny due to the comedic humor, deep due to how sad it gets once each character dies and the reactions after they die, and serious due to how intense the fight scenes are. Let's move on to the pacing. The pacing was pretty fast for a 24 episode anime. Isn't that crazy? It went by fast because the fight scenes had me locked in. So yeah, out of all the animes I have reviewed, this anime takes the cake for the fastest pacing I have watched. Time for my final review. Time for my final review on Akame ga Kill. I'm placing Akame ga Kill on Good Show That's Nice, in between Elfen Lied and Train to the End of the World. Disclaimer, I'm ranking the anime only part. If it was the manga I'm ranking, it would be on Please Watch This Immediately, but it's not. Time for my announcement. Hey y'all, before you say, where's the wheel? Where's the next anime? I'm gonna make an announcement real quick. I am not going to be uploading next week, which means I'm going to be on a week break from uploading. I am not going to be uploading next week due to how I will be on vacation, which means I'm going to be out of town. Not the whole week, but during the week that where I would have to upload on Monday, and I'm out of town on Monday. So that means I will not be uploading a review video, which is why I am not spinning the wheel, because I could get an anime that I could just watch in like 1 or 2 days. So that means my next anime is going to be a surprise anime, and it's going to be much longer than all the animes on the wheel, so I can have all the time to review and watch everything. So yeah, I hope you understand me, and thank you for hearing this announcement. Time for my outro. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe. And please follow my socials in the description down below. And stay tuned till April 13th for the secret anime I will be reviewing. Until then, this is Enjeru signing off.